Tales from the Darkside, Season 1, Episode 5, Mookie and Pookie. This episode is about two twins, Mookie and Pookie. The female is Pookie and the male is Mookie. I guess this is supposed to be kind of cute, but it gets kind of annoying. The male Mookie is very, very sick and actually ends up dying very early in the episode. He's obsessed with computers and spends all day upstairs, playing on his computer, doing programming, and his parents are very, very worried about him. But they let him get away with this because he's terminally ill. So what are they going to do? Tell him to play outside? He can't play outside. He dies early in the episode, actually in the first couple minutes, so they don't drag out his death too long. And then, right before he dies, he transfers his body, his soul, his mind, into his computer. And his sister, Pookie, then starts playing around on his computer and finds that he is actually inside the computer, and he is communicating with her, typing out things only he would know. This sets the stage for what could be an interesting episode. There's a lot of places you could go with this. Unfortunately, this episode pretty much stops there. That's the entire plot. You get to see some 1980s technology. This episode was released in 1984, at a time where personal computers were fairly new. They came about in the late 70s.
With one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984. Introducing Macintosh. It does all the things you'd expect a business computer to do. It does a lot of things you wouldn't expect a business computer to do. And it does some things no other business computer has ever done before. Of course, to do all this, you will have to learn to do this. Macintosh, the computer for the rest of us.
Mookie spends the entire episode trying to convince her parents that her brother and their son, Mookie, is actually inside the computer. The parents don't believe her, and that is the entire episode. She keeps trying to convince him, and this could all be solved very, very easily. If the son inside the computer, Mookie, just spoke to them. She gets a voice synthesizer so that he actually can speak to her, but he gets shy every time the parents come in the room, and he also can communicate with her through a word processing app. We call it an app back then? Oh my god, what year is this? Word processing program. Might be an app, who knows? So that's pretty much Mookie and Pookie. Kid dies, transfers his soul into a computer. Okay, a lot of places you go with this. Maybe they go on a crazy adventure. Maybe they play war games. Has a 3D animation of a female that they create, like Weird Science. But I don't know, he could be like attacked by a virus. He could be fighting with another computer in the house. They could do a million things with this. And instead, kind of a horror movie trope where nobody believes this is the killer, or someone says they see an alien and no one believes them. Someone says they saw them dump a dead body, nobody believes them. Someone says they saw this person stab someone, nobody believes them. So it's just that. Parents don't believe that their son has transferred their soul in the computer, and he is too cowardly to actually use the voice synthesizer or the word processor to tell the parents. So at the end, he finally does it as his dad is about to pull the plug on the computer. It ends with a nice happy game of Scrabble where they all play together. Even Mookie, who plays upstairs on his computer. Of course, they all lose to the computer Mookie. I mean, did you think you were going to beat a computer at Scrabble? So it begins with Scrabble and ends with Scrabble. I think I'm feeling a solid 2.5 on this one. I don't know if I give it a 2 or 3, but I think I am going to give it a 2. The performances aren't bad. The lead female is pretty good. She's actually related to Jason Bateman. The production values are Tales from the Darkside. They're all about the same, but nothing happens. And there's not really any effects. There's not any suspense. There's not any adventure. And even the word processing thing they use, he doesn't really say anything interesting. Like I said, he doesn't even have real conversations with her. She just says, hey, do you want to tell the parents that you're in the computer? He goes, no. Are you sure you don't want to tell the parents you're in the computer? No. So it's not even that they have like a deep conversation through the computer, at least that we can see, or that he tells her a secret that she didn't know about or something like that. They don't do any of that stuff. So yeah, I'm feeling a solid 2 for Mookie and Pookie. This is one of the lower rated episodes, and I can see why. The character Pookie, the girl, is played by Justine Bateman. She recently directed the film Violet, released in 2021, starring Olivia Munn and Justin Theroux. She was in Family Ties and Arrested Development, and is the sister of actor and fellow Arrested Development co-star Jason Bateman. The mother is played by Tippi Hedren. She's most known for being in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds and his subsequent film Marnie. Apparently they were best buddies, well, for a while. George Sims played the father. He was in a bunch of 60s TV shows, Alfred Hitchcock Hour, The FBI, The Fugitive, and then curiously took almost 20 years off to return for a few more films before retiring in 1991 with Alligator 2, The Mutation. That has to be a great trailer.
It killed 17 people and terrorized an entire city.
You tell Mr. Brown that we are not helpless fishermen. We will fight.
One renegade cop stands between the corrupt politicians and a devastating massacre.
I was right. That was a good trailer. Next up in 1 week, Season 1, Episode 6, Slippage, about a man who disappears.